Welcome back, Smart Start Radio family. Before we get into our latest amazing episode, we have a quick word from our sponsor. With spectacular hotels, amazing theme parks, and unparalleled entertainment, Universal Orlando Resort offers a meeting destination unlike anything else in the world.
That's Smart Start Radio, Smart Start Radio. Ready, set, here we go with another episode. Watch as we learn and grow. That's Smart Start Radio, Smart Start Radio. Ready, set, here we go with another episode. Watch as we learn and grow. Starting smart is the action we design. Meeting of the minds, how to better use our time. Leading us, leading, proceeding, they define
How's it going, Smart Start Radio family? I'm your host, Eming Piansay, here for Smart Start Coffee Chat. So grab your coffee, your matcha, your tea, your water, whatever beverage is getting you through the day. And today's episode is inspired by a story that we're running in our March magazine issue, Breaking Through Ice, by our editor-at-large, Gary Diedrich, who is a phenomenal writer, by the way. If you haven't seen his stuff, check him out on our website. He's amazing. And this story is centered on what's happened when a destination's brand gets hit by something that isn't a hurricane or a wildfire, but a fast-moving, emotionally charged situation, large-scale federal immigration enforcement, and the community response around it. So again, this story is going to be in our March magazine, and you can read a version of it right now on our website. So definitely go check it out. The title, again, is Breaking Through Ice. So please read it, either now or when the magazine drops in March. So for today's episode, we're going to take this story, we're going to translate this into 3 planner moves that you can use on your next site selection call, your next risk meeting with leadership, and your next attendee comms draft. The vibe is headlines are loud, but reality is layered, obviously. In the article, we walk through Minneapolis, DC, Los Angeles, cities dealing with different versions of disruption, ICE surges, National Guard presence, protests, curfews, highway closures, staffing strain, and the perception gap that comes with all of it. And here's the tension every meeting professional recognizes. You want to support destinations, you want to show up for communities, but you also have a job, fill seats, protect attendees' safety, and get the go-ahead from stakeholders who may only know what they saw on TV, because that's also reality. People, social media, television, you can't really avoid those things. They're there. But here's how we can kind of deal with that. Here's the first one. Media focus creates a distorted map. Obviously, in Minneapolis, the story describes protests near a hotel, but not necessarily like near the downtown core of the city. And it notes that the convention center connects into downtown, a skyway system linking both 150 buildings, letting visitors avoid high street activity. And in Los Angeles, the DMO CEO said that many of us have felt in real time the coverage can make it seem like the entire city is on fire when the activity might be concentrated in a tiny area. He describes it as less than 1 square mile in a region that's 500 square miles. Again, this is all in the story, so you can fact check me on that when you read it. So what should you be asking? Ask your DMO and hotel partners to right size the map. What are the hotspots relative to your venue's footprint? 10 blocks, 10 miles? Get a sense of the size. Build a movement plan, not a vibe check, but routes, entrances, transportation, timing, and what areas attendees can avoid without issue. Communicate like a grown-up, or say things like, here's what's happening, here's where it is, and here's what we're doing. I mean, that's pretty straightforward, right? You could even ask a question like, can you show me what's happening relative to our attendee footprint, venue, headquarters, hotel, overflow, and main transit routes so we can plan ahead? Like, how can we be more proactive in that sense? Second point, your confidence comes from your security plan, obviously. Destination DC basically gave a masterclass, having gone through a lot of incidents in the past year. And their advice was be proactive, know the security plan, and be able to communicate effectively about safety and security. I mean, that seems like, again, communicate, be over communicative. They also noted that DC is used to operating with a high level of security and mentioned 25 plus police organizations in the city. That's not just nothing. That's a reminder that destinations have deep structure for complex environments like this, where there's issues, there should be the backing to ensure that things are safe and secure for people who are living there and visiting. What to do that is practical. Request a written security overview, venue security, local PD coordination, federal presence considerations, medical response, protest response, escalation contacts. Decide what you'll tell attendees before they ask. A short, calm FAQ, frequently asked question. People love those. People want to know that you know what to do. So think about that. Make sure you over-communicate and know what they're going to ask you because they're going to have questions and you should be able to answer them. Align internally, your legal team, your duty of care lead, your exec sponsor, same page, same language. Get it the same. Don't deviate. Have this operate from the same rule book, the same script. So there's no issues. There's no weird miscommunications. Just be above board on everything and you should be good. Third, hospitality staffing and service delivery can get strained fast, even if the event itself is safe. Fear and stress of anything can affect how things run. Cancellations happen, boycotts happen, staffing. A survey done by Minneapolis cited in the story reports that 90% of businesses impacted, and among those, 80% experienced canceled, postponed, reduced bookings, sales, and nearly 3/4 reported staffing absenteeism. Again, that's in the story. Check that out in March or on the website. Either one. They're there. And yet this is important because in the article, it also talks about that meetings and events continue to be supported with hotel partners sharing staff and backfiling to maintain service, which is awesome because you want to make sure your attendees feel like you haven't dropped any balls and that they're constantly, being thought of and considered and supported during whatever is happening in the destination, regardless of what's happening around the destination or in the destination. This is where planners win or lose trust, not by pretending service will be perfect, but by planning for variability because who knows what's going to happen. Anything, any day, things can change in a second. Who hasn't had a day that has gone totally awry over the smallest thing? Like, it happens. Just be prepared. So what can you do practically? Ask venues, what does staffing look like right now? What's the plan if staffing dips? Build a quote-unquote good enough to succeed ops plan, simplified F&B moments, fewer touch points, smarter peak load scheduling. Consider a virtual alternative or a hybrid option as a pressure release valve. Considering a hybrid option would give people the ability to engage with the content, engage with the event, but still feel like they, aren't necessarily in the way of what's happening. If they're concerned, they still want to attend. Having those options are definitely beneficial to yourself and your attendees and the overall experience. So just to keep those in mind as just in case, just in case moments. Okay, so here are 3 rapid fire questions for you guys before I dip out of here. Where's the story happening? Not emotionally, not like location wise. What's the distance between the activity you're attending, the conference or the meeting or the event? What's the distance between whatever's happening outside of the event itself and the venue footprint? What's the plan if conditions change quickly? Who has authority? Who calls who? What's the attendee comms chain? Can a destination still deliver the experience? Staffing, transportation, curfews, highway closures. What's the operational reality of the situation, really? Bonus question. Ask the DMO for transparency tools. Frequently asked questions, real-time updates, on-the-ground briefings. The leaders in all these DMOs mentioned in the story emphasize transparency and factual communication as the foundation for trust. Because if you don't have trust, no one's showing up. They're definitely not coming back again next year. So make sure that you're clear, you're transparent, and you're on the same page with your attendees, or else it might not go as smoothly as you would like. But with these tips, hopefully you can maneuver that. And here are 3 last takeaways to just keep in your back pocket just in case you need them. Get a reality check of what's going on in the destination and then plan your attendees' movements accordingly to that. Safety is a plan you can explain. Proactive security coordination builds attendee confidence because that means they trust you because you know what you're doing and you have thought ahead enough. And they're like, okay, let's do this. Service levels are part of risk management. Ask early, design resilient ops, and consider virtual options when anxiety or access could reduce attendance. I hope this was helpful for anyone who is, nervous about what may be happening in your cities regarding protests or issues around ICE. Thanks for hanging out with me today for Smart Start Radio Coffee Chat. And thanks once again to our editor-at-large, Gary Diedrich, for an amazing article, which is again in our March issue and is also on our website currently. Not the full story, but enough for just to wet your whistle until the March issue drops. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Ready, set, here we go with another episode. Watch as we learn and grow. A small start radio. Small start radio. Ready, set, here we go with another episode. Watch as we learn and grow. Starting smart is the action we design. Meeting other minds, how to better use our time. Leading, interceding, proceeding, they divine. It's believing, they conceding, so it goes on.
You've been listening to Smart Start Radio, a Smart Meetings production. Interested in being our next guest? Connect with us at editor@smartmeetings.com.